Good morning, afternoon, evening, Chem 11. This is Mr. Lewis. Miss Mizba and Miss Kandow are off at the store buying Jello, but you'll find out more about that tomorrow in our lesson. But if any of you are allergic to Jello, please let us know tomorrow. Anyways, the topic we're going to go over for our next two classes is physical and chemical changes, and we are going to sort out how to tell the difference. And here's a cheesy chemistry joke. Sigh. So, we have physical change and we have chemical change. And we're going to start with physical change. A physical change is a change in a substance that does not alter its identity. It's still the same substance, still the same chemical, still the same compound, but it's just in a different state or phase. So for example, crushing. If you crushed a can, that's just a physical change. Tearing. You tore up your homework, or your dog tore up your homework, that is just a physical change. The melting and boiling of water, we're just changing the state of water, so those are just physical changes. So, some general details of a physical change. Well, you have the same substance before and after. It does not involve the breaking of bonds. It's reversible, usually, and it also usually does not involve a large energy change. Now, one thing to keep in mind, these are general guidelines, not rules. There are always exceptions, but after we have a more concrete understanding of the material, then we'll start to go into those exceptions. So, next we have a chemical change. So we did physical change, now we're on to chemical change. And a chemical change is a change in a substance that alters its identity. So it creates a different substance. So the burning of wood. When you put wood in the fire, you burn it down, it takes the wood and creates carbon dioxide and oxygen. Those are different substances, different identities, and that is a chemical change. Same thing, another example, rusting of iron. So you have a nail, it's made out of iron, over time it reacts with the air to make iron oxide. That is also a chemical change. Iron oxide is a different substance. So, a more detailed look at chemical change. With a chemical change, a new substance is produced. A chemical change also involves the breaking of bonds, the breaking of chemical bonds. It's usually irreversible, and there's usually a large energy change involved. Again, general guidelines, not hard and fast rules, but we're going to stick to these for now. So, let's do a couple of examples. First example, we're going from ice to water to steam. Do you think this is a physical change or a chemical change? Oh, you all got it right. It's a physical change. Nice job. For our second example, we're combining oxygen gas and hydrogen gas. And what do we make? We make a whole new product called water. Do you think that's a physical change or a chemical change? Yes, you're right. We've created something entirely new. That's a chemical change. So, on the second day of this topic, we're going to get into the types of changes in state. This is also known as a phase change. And most of you will already be exposed to this. This is evaporation, freezing, melting. You know most of this. But, for those that don't, a change of state is defined as the conversion of a substance from one of the three physical states to another. And when I say three physical states, I mean solid, liquid, and gas. So really it's the changing of a solid, a liquid, or a gas into another one of those physical states. So for example, evaporation. When you wash the dishes and you leave them on the counter to dry, that's evaporation, and that is just a change in state. Same thing with freezing. Overnight, your driveway freezes from a liquid to a solid. That is also just a change in state. So on this slide, we have the different types of phase changes or changes in state that can happen with matter. So we have water as an example, well, really because it's a fairly important example and it's one we're exposed to a lot. So melting, freezing is evaporation, condensation. Those are four that we're all exposed to fairly regularly. Now the other two, sublimation, which is a change from a solid to a gas, and deposition, which is the change from a gas to a solid, are a little more rare. We don't see those generally day to day. So in those two, you're actually just skipping the liquid phase. You're going gas to solid, which is called deposition, or you're going solid to gas, which is called sublimation. Those two are a little more tricky, but the other four you will see every day. Condensation, when your window starts to fog up when you're driving along, that's condensation. Evaporation, those dishes that dry magically, evaporation. So melting, ice or snow melting to water, freezing, water turning into ice, you've seen those. But sublimation and deposition are a little more tricky, so make sure you make note of those.